the compact saloon. A curious beast in today's motoring world. Many think its days are numbered. SUVs are all the rage, you see, but for sensible driving, a proper three-box car still has merit. It's shaped like a car. That is a rather good starting point. They offer a decent boot for your luggage. The ride is usually quite comfortable, too, and you don't feel like you're steering a small shed. Quite a few people still find that appealing, which is nice. It shows some taste still exists out there. Today, we consider two rather interesting examples. From Germany, or at least with a German badge, comes the Volkswagen Virtus GT. It promises a bit more excitement, a bit of GT flair. Then from the Czech Republic, we have the Skoda Slavia. It's part of the same large Volkswagen family, of course. The Slavia is often seen as the sensible, clever choice. Both cars want your money, both offer similar things, but differently. Let us begin this meticulous and hopefully not too dull examination. Right then, the engines. This is where it gets interesting, and also, predictably, somewhat similar between these two. Both these saloons, in their more potent forms, share an engine. The Virtus GT and the comparable Slavia 1.5 TSI are examples. They use the rather excellent 1.5-litre turbocharged petrol unit. This comes from the vast Volkswagen Group parts bin. A good bin. This engine is quite a jewel, producing around 148 horsepower. It also delivers a very useful amount of torque. It's modern with clever fuel-saving cylinder deactivation. So how does this power feel on the actual road? Well, with that 1.5 TSI engine, both cars are surprisingly brisk. The Volkswagen Virtus GT, with its sporty aspirations, feels eager. It accelerates with a rather pleasing sense of urgency. The DSG automatic gearbox, often paired with this engine, is generally good. Shifts are quick. They are mostly smooth. The Skoda Slavia, with the identical engine, is no slow coach. It delivers its power smoothly, perhaps less dramatically, but it's just as capable when you need to press on a bit. The Volkswagen Virtus GT often has a slightly different suspension. It is usually tuned to be a bit firmer. This is intended to give it a sportier character, you see. It makes it feel a bit more connected on a winding road. You get a better sense of what the tires are doing. However, this can mean the ride is a little firm, especially over our wonderfully inconsistent road surfaces. It is a compromise, as many things in car design are. You cannot always have everything, unfortunately. The Skoda Slavia, conversely, tends to focus more on comfort. Its suspension setup is often a bit more forgiving. It soaks up bumps and road imperfections with greater composure. This makes it a very relaxing car for longer journeys. It's also good for navigating the urban jungle daily. It might not feel quite as agile as the Virtus GT in corners, but for many drivers, that extra comfort is a welcome trait. It really boils down to your personal preference, doesn't it? A dash more excitement or a spoonful more serenity. Now let us open the doors. Let's peer inside these cabins. The Volkswagen Virtus GT aims to continue its sporty theme indoors. You will often find some red highlights here and there, perhaps on the dashboard trim or in the seat stitching. The materials used are generally of good quality, solid. This is what one typically expects from Volkswagen. The infotainment system is usually a clear touchscreen. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all the modern bits. It's quite functional, reasonably easy to navigate. The Skoda Slavia's interior presents a slightly different atmosphere. It often strives for a more elegant and spacious feeling. You might discover different trim materials and finishes, perhaps some sophisticated piano black or brushed metallic effects. The overall design can feel a bit more understated. Skoda is also well known for its simply clever features, little touches, an umbrella hidden in the door panel or a useful ticket holder on the windscreen pillar. These small things genuinely improve everyday usability. When discussing comfort, both saloons offer decent accommodation. Those occupying the front seats will find ample room. The seats are generally supportive, good for long stints. Rear passenger space is also quite generous for this class. Adults can sit in the back without their knees around their ears. Boot space is another significant advantage for both models. Saloons traditionally offer large, practical luggage compartments. They easily accommodate holiday suitcases or bulky shopping. This inherent practicality is a key reason people still buy them. And what about the cost of these contraptions, the price? Well, this is where things can diverge a little. Generally, the Skoda Slavia is positioned slightly more affordably. This is especially true when comparing like-for-like engine models. The Volkswagen Virtus GT, being the sportier, often top-spec version, commands a premium. You are paying extra for those GT badges, you see, and for the distinct styling and the firmer suspension. Value for money is, of course, a subjective matter, but it is always wise to scrutinize the figures carefully. So, the Volkswagen Virtus GT, what are its positive attributes? Well, it possesses that sporty aesthetic. Many will like that. The 1.5 TSI engine provides ample performance. It feels quite lively. It's enjoyable to drive, especially if you like spirited motoring. The Volkswagen badge itself carries a certain cachet for some. The interior, with its sporty details, feels modern and well-equipped. It's a competent and engaging package for the sensible saloon buyer. For those who want their car to have a bit of a spark, a little bit of fun mixed with the function. However, it is not entirely a bed of roses for the Virtus GT. That sporty suspension, while beneficial for handling, can be an issue. It can make the ride a tad unsettled on uneven roads. This might not suit everyone for a daily commuting vehicle. It can also be marginally more expensive than its Skoda counterpart. You must decide if those sporty elements justify the extra cost. Some might find the interior plastics a little hard in places. Despite the overall impression of solidity and good build, it's a saloon trying very hard to be a bit of a hot hatch, and the Skoda Slavia, its key strengths are numerous. It offers an excellent combination of comfort, space, and sheer practicality. It usually provides a more cushioned ride than the Virtus. This makes it a superb long-distance cruiser and a very relaxing car for everyday driving duties. The interior often feels a bit more premium in its design. Those simply clever touches are genuinely useful additions. Plus, it generally represents slightly better value for your money. You get a substantial amount of car for your investment, so which one of these fine automobiles should you choose? Well, as is often the case, it really depends on your needs. If you desire a saloon that looks and feels a bit sporty, consider the VW. If you enjoy a more engaging drive, the Virtus GT is a strong choice. However, if your priorities are comfort and elegant design, look at Skoda. If you want maximum practicality and perhaps to save some money, then the Skoda Slavia is probably the more astute, sensible option. Both are very capable cars, make no mistake about that. You just need to decide on your preferred flavor of motoring.